Both the future and the past are the core of Amazon Prime Video's The Expanse, a sci-fi series set several hundred years in the future when humans have colonized the furthest reaches of our solar system. It might take place many generations beyond our own, but it often feels like the future it's predicting is one that's just days away. The Expanse is an adaptation of the Hugo Award-winning series of novels by James S. A. Corey, a pseudonym for the co-authors Ty Franck and Daniel Abraham. For them, creating a vision of the future that feels eerily accurate doesn't take some kind of supernatural predictive power. Here's how The Expanse looks to the past to create its authentic vision of the future. The scope of The Expanse is massive, but one of the ties that binds the various narrative threads together is that it's a story about human exploration and colonization. In the world of the show, Earth may be the origin of human life, but it's not the home world for many humans, as colonization of the solar system has been happening for several generations. There are struggles for independence, conflicts over resources, and atrocities committed in the name of freedom. In fact, the relationship between Earth and the various independent governments and colonies of the solar system looks a lot like our past. Frank laid it all out during our October 2020 interview.
We both are big fans of history, and we tend to write about things that we've read about in history and try to drag those forward. And what we've realized is that humans do the same dumb stuff over and over and over again. So if you write about some stupid thing humans did 3,000 years ago, there's a pretty good chance somebody's doing it today.
Historically, colonialism has usually been a greedy, messy, and violent affair, and that's exactly how it's portrayed in The Expanse.
Good times.
Humans aren't the only species participating in colonialism in The Expanse. Early in the series, an alien scourge called the protomolecule is introduced, which is able to infect and alter organic life. The protomolecule represents a major existential threat to humanity, not unlike the many we face throughout history. These disasters and how we react to them have often marked major turning points in our history. In an interview with Scientific American, Frank explained how he and Abraham came up with the concept of the protomolecule, saying, "You want to set your story in a place where things are being shaken out. It's why disaster movies are so popular. The protomolecule is our volcano. The story we're telling is the fallout and the new order the humans will set up."
So you can ride in and save
No
the day,
idea
right?
how close we are, huh? I am talking about independence.
In the series, Mars has a large population and has already successfully declared independence from Earth. However, in Season 4, after humans have begun traveling through a recently discovered intergalactic hub to other solar systems, we see that Mars is in decline. The promise of potentially thousands of inhabitable planets within reach makes the idea of spending generations trying to terraform Mars less appealing. Martians leave the planet, the economy goes south, gangs and black markets spring up to fill in the gaps left by skyrocketing unemployment, and in general, life on the planet changes forever. This is, of course, nothing new for humanity. During an interview with GeekWire, Abraham spoke more about looking to history as a foundation for exploring this kind of complex interconnectivity in The Expanse. He explained, for example, what happens when a new technology or a new discovery changes the balance of power. That's happened a lot. It happened when we found the New World. It happened when we invented refrigerated cargo ships, and all of a sudden land-based nobility in Europe collapsed because you can get all of your food cheaper from South America. Those seeking an easier life for themselves in the newly opened corners of the universe may be traveling on futuristic spaceships, but they're still acting on an ancient impulse. People have been migrating forever. Sometimes the migration is driven by the hope of a better life, and other times refugee crises are created by conflict or famine. This is something else that Abraham and Frank thought about when writing The Expanse, saying, "There are patterns that are really consistent throughout human history, and yeah, we've been borrowing and reimagining those patterns. Because of that, we wind up looking weirdly prescient. It looks like we're talking about what's going on today, even though we wrote it 8 years ago, because it's something that humanity revisits and revisits." Abraham also told GeekWire that the series' tackling of the issue isn't because they predicted any current refugee crises, but because it's an evergreen problem. He elaborated on that particular point in our online interview in October of 2020.
One of the things I think has come out of the whole project is the idea that technology changes a lot and changes dramatically what the lived experience of people is, but humans don't really change that much.
So while The Expanse may not be able to predict the future, it still has a lot to say about humanity. You can catch up on The Expanse on Amazon Prime Video. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more New York Comic Con videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.